Hello and welcome back to week number 2 of the EDS. This week I'm joined by none other than the lovely Wonder Boy.
Hi mate, it's good to be here. I'm very excited to cast some Halo again. Should be a good one. We have Div 2 and Div 1 matches today, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're covering the action up and down the divisions today. We've got SherzEsports going up against ZhuhSpeny. SherzEsports on the back of a W, and unfortunately ZhuhSpeny on the back of a loss. And we will touch upon Spenny, who actually got Sandbag of the Week last week, Harry. That's not one you want to be repeating this week.
No, certainly not. Always tough to bounce back from a performance last week. There's two sort of ways you can approach it. One, you can be more hungry to sort of prove yourself to your teammate and want to try and right the wrongs of the previous week. And then on the other hand, there's sometimes there's a bit of a mental game with yourself inside your own mind where it's like, I really should be playing better this week, and you put too much pressure on yourself. We'll see which way it goes for Spenny, but hopefully it's the former rather than the latter if they want to be climbing up the league.
Yeah, he has promised me he's going to be MVP this week. Wow. And to do it against this caliber of player, I'm really putting all the pressure on him. All the weight is on his shoulders, and we love to see him bounce back with maybe a few ninjas. That's what he'd be looking for. Now, we'll be looking to get this game underway any moment, but maybe we should have a quick look at the series layout.
Yeah, let's take a look at its entirety. One thing I have absolutely loved about watching the EDS and the double series is the tweaking the weapon timings and the power-up timings, obviously on maps like Slayer the Rig that we're going to see in our second game in the series. Very, very prominent. Also the power-ups on the likes of Regret and Truth, which, the latter we're going to be seeing twice in this series in games 1 and 5. And then obviously Slayer Plaza. If we get there, and again, if we get to that game 5 on Truth, it's going to be about which two of these teams can remember in their mind that, this sniper is on a different timing than the usual, and it's a different ammo count, and also the power-ups as well, an extra minute on them, so you can't be, setting up a minute early. Obviously, these guys will be well practiced by this point on these settings, as it's pretty much the only thing to play for in Halo 5 at the moment. But we'll see. We will see who has their P's and Q's counted and verified.
Last week, we mentioned that if you're not comfortable on Truth, which, we've had Midship, we've had Truth, different iterations of the same map. If you're not comfortable on this map by now, after all these games, then you really shouldn't be comfortable on any map. And Sherzy2 and Crystal have actually struggled throughout qualifying and week 1, where they haven't actually won a single map on Truth. Will that change today? We'll soon find out.
Yeah, Truth is one of those where it took a little bit of a while for teams really to figure out in Halo 5 exactly how to play it. I mean, by this point, they really should know that you don't want to be spawning over by the carbine side of the map purely because it's so easy to be trapped there. There's so many angles you can be shot from. You're essentially trapped unless you try and fight out for a base really quickly. You can be shot from top middle. You can be shot from the bases. And more importantly, you're further away from the power-up than you need to be. Say you're in a base, there's a quick rotate around. If you're spawning a carbine tower while that power-up's coming up at P1, it's the worst position to be in, especially if you die around the time that the power-up's coming up as well. It's a bit of a nightmare position. So if you see any teams, any players hanging around the carbine side, whether their teammate has just died or whether or not they've just spawned, you want to try and see them fight out of that position straight away. Either push to top middle, try and take the fight there, or try and get to a base so you have a foothold on the map ready for the power-up coming up.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get stuck over on carbine side. And I was talking to some of the players. Some of the players didn't really like the changes that we've made to radar, where you're not actually, you're not actually punished for using sprint or any of those abilities. What is your take on that?
It's a tricky one. I think it certainly differs in the gameplay. I feel like in terms of money twos that we've seen at the highest level, lots of them play with radar off anyway. You want to be relying on communication and you want to be relying on sound cues. You don't want to have to look at that radar in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. As you can see, the radar not even on in these settings. You don't, this is how Halo used to be. You can't really be expecting the game to do all the work for you. You have to have some level of communication, cohesion, and you have to have a brain at some point.
Yeah, you have to rely on your own awareness, and your own communication is dead right, as Camo is just burned and ZhuhSpeny go up 2-0, and SherzEsports is already over where Harry said he doesn't want to be, in the car side.
Yeah, this is where you want to see ZhuhSpeny really start to, ZhuhSpeny try and pin them and capitalize on the fact that they are in a compromised position here. SherzEsports actually does really well getting Zhuh, and that's going to allow Cristola. Oh no! I was going to say allow Cristola to try and get that foothold on the map that we were talking about, but Cristola, I mean, caught completely unawares there by Spenny, who's looking to bounce back after a poor last week.
Yep, Spenny's looking for that MVP immediately as Cristola takes some shots, but also trades some shots with Zuh up in the attic. A team nade comes through from Spenny. Is he back to his old form? Is that what we're seeing already? As Zuh frantically tries to stay alive, jumps out front pace. Spenny picks up a cleanup onto SherzEsports, and Cristola then picks up a 5 onto Spenny. So it's honors even here for the minute with one teammate apiece as they both just come back off the spawn screen, and blue team's over in the car side as SherzEsports look to set up over towards P side and top middle.
Yeah, good little play there from Spenny, you know. I mean, oftentimes when you're hit by a grenade, it means the enemy team's going to know where you are. That time, because he was hit by a team nade, he knew that the red team still didn't really know exactly where he was. So he knew he had a bit of freedom of movement to play, and that basically allowed him to get a kill. And ZhuhSpeny and Spenny right now doing a really, really good job trading. I mean, Camouflage would be coming up in around 20 seconds, but obviously it's on a 3-minute timer instead of a 2 in these settings. ZhuhSpeny unfortunately getting caught out there. It's a bit of a split spawn comes in for Cristola and Sherzy. So going to be important in this next sort of 30 or so seconds to avoid dying and avoid spawning over at the carbine side, just so that you're not further away from the camouflage that you need to be.
Yeah, Sherzy put a nade down trying to get some information. Knew Spenny was weakened there, but Spenny done a great job of just staying alive in that little nook right behind the ledge there on the street. But SherzEsports gets a double kill regardless. This all started from that one camo play that was burned as Zuh and Spenny were able to get a little bit of a lead, but now it's starting to come back now as Sherzy just gets taken down. That's still a 2-kill lead. Camouflage will be up in the next 30-40 seconds.
This is poor as well, because look where Cristola is, right on that opposite end of the map. Still has about 30 or so seconds to try and get a kill to his name, or to their name, I should say, and then start fighting over towards that power-up. But this really is a position that you do not want to be in. Cristola actually, honestly, if I'm looking at that, I'm thinking that's a tactical death from Chris. I think that's on purpose as Spenny's able to pick up a double. They're hoping now to get the red base spawn so that they can sort of, you know, have a better position to fight for the camouflage, which is coming up pretty soon. But I mean, Cristola's pretty much wasted that. And to be honest, 11-6, red base secured for Spenny and ZhuhSpeny. I'm thinking they're probably favorites now to get this next camouflage.
Yeah, it was all. Cristola was a bit of a non-factor sitting over on car side, with SherzEsports having to fight 2 members of the blue team, and you're going to get very little help if your teammate is set up over towards car side and you're fighting 2 guys on P. The lines of sight just simply aren't there.
I mean, I've just seen Chris run from bottom blue over to carbine, car 1. I mean, does he not know the power-up's coming up? That's kind of an interesting play, and he's still sitting at car 3, nowhere near the power-up. So Spenny should get this one for free, and that's a bit of a mistake, honestly, from SherzEsports and Cristola. We'll see if they can make amends.
Spenny does have the camouflage now, playing sneaky beaver-like, but SherzEsports has just spotted him out. That's maybe the 144 hertz monitor coming into play there, as I certainly would not have seen that these old eyes.
4K, Xbox One X, absolutely on point there for Spenny, or excuse me, no, for SherzEsports, as Spenny is taken down. So I suppose the gamble pushing over to the carbine side for Cristola paid off. I did honestly think it was a bit of a strange play, but looks like they're willing to play more over to that carbine side than they are. They need to, I mean, I was going to say they need to try and keep Spenny alive there, but they've just sort of found a 2 versus 1. And ZhuhSpeny now is over at carbine by himself. SherzEsports is going to try and push this advantage, and he does. And now they're back within 1. This is a good turnaround.
Yeah, you have to say, if you make that play car side like Chris did, that more often than not, the odds won't favour you, and you will probably end up losing more kills than you gain. But maybe a misplay on the side of ZhuhSpeny and Spenny, as they maybe just were a little bit over eager and got that camouflage. I mean, really, Spenny done nothing with the camouflage. We know he tried to stay alive there, but it was a bit of a non-factor in the end. And when you have the camouflage, you really want to be getting 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah, but at the same time, when your teammate dies as soon as you pick it up and you're kind of stranded out in the open like Spenny was, that's pretty much all you can do. You can just try and bank on trying to evade the enemy teams. There actually gets a lovely reversal on SherzEsports. Cristola now P1, having to try and stay alive. But we will see. For me, if I'm Chris, I was going to say, I'm not sure if I like this aggression. You know, I'm not sure if he knows both of these players are here, but he has SherzEsports with him, so we'll see if he can clean up some of these trades.
Yeah, SherzEsports was then dived in to help Chris, and he's paid the price with his life. Some shots going down here. Nice shots by Spenny, just taken down by Cristola, who's actually picked up a killing spree here, and is maybe starting to get himself onto a little bit of a roll. As Truth, like we said, has traditionally not gone in their favour. And Spenny now over in the car side. Cristola again coming over here, but this time he has the tac pistol, so he has that scope, and he has that extra range that the scope will provide for him, but is taken down by Zug. Great communication, you have to say, from ZhuhSpeny, really isolating Cristola out there on the car side.
Yeah, good isolation. And camouflage coming up in the next 30 or so seconds. So these fights and these kills over towards the pink side here, very, very vital. There's SherzEsports going down. Cristola across the map from the camo. So if I'm Spenny here, I wouldn't get too aggressive. I would just be happy and content with pinning them over towards this carbine side. This is a bit of a rogue push for me. Not sure if I agree with it too much. We'll see what comes of it.
You have them exactly where you want them. Maybe going over to them isn't exactly. There we go. And as Harry said, it's now a 1v2 for Zug. What can he do? Can he take down the guys? He does get a lovely fresh 5 onto Chris. That's some beautiful shots. Valorant really playing out for him. Oh, and a stick as well. Massive plays out of Zug and a little teabag out of Celebration as well. And we've enjoyed that here in the booth as well.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if they know that Camouflage is coming up soon, though. Looks like Spenny's actually grabbed that one, so we'll hop over to him as he's trying to make some plays. Lovely back smack onto SherzEsports. Can he make it 2 in a row here against Cristola? No, he cannot, but Zer's there for the trade, and that trade will actually make it a 4-point advantage now for Zer and Spenny here on Truth.
Zer really doing a great job there, and Spenny getting the clean up after the couple of shots that he put in the SherzEsports. Cristola again over on car side. I'm really confused as to see why both teams are pushing over towards this side. It's a bit of a dead side of the map. You don't really want to be over there. SherzEsports taken down to no shields. Back flag. He gets taken down. Back base Cristola. And Zerna 1v1. And Cristola just comes out on top. That's 21-17 with just under 5 minutes to go.
That was a pivotal fight for Chris to win. If you don't win that fight, you're down by 5.
Both players giving a little shake of the hips, trying to evade each other's shots. And Cristola just coming out on top now as both members of the teams get aggressive. There is going to be a big engagement. Plenty, couple of shots down. It doesn't matter. That's 21-19 and a fresh team wipe reversal. 5 for SherzEsports, and Spenny's going to be disappointed with that.
4:20 left on the clock. I wouldn't be surprised to see these two, well, these 4, I should say, slow this game down at this point. Next camouflage isn't for at least another minute and a half, so no reason to try and avoid the carbine side. And here is the slowing down of the game. If we scroll through the points of view, we have Spenny and Zer over at red base. And then obviously SherzEsports and Chris just pinning down those towers. Cristola doing a great job there, putting down shots and staying alive here as well. So now that everyone knows where each other are on the map here, Richie, it's going to be interesting to see which move comes next. If I'm the boys in red base, I pick a tower, I try and flood it.
Yeah, it's pivotal here that you're not the team that makes the first mistake. If you're on the side of SherzEsports, you've got all the real estate on the map, and you've got everything you need to be successful here with camouflage up very, very shortly. As you can see, Zer and Spenny are pushing car, and Chris is all alone. And like Harry said, if you don't flood one particular spot, you're in trouble with that. Getting yourself caught into a 2v1 is now the lead is cut to 3. They've increased that advantage now. 22 kills to 19. Camouflage will be popping now soon. As the fights go down, Spenny gets tagged up by a grenade. And some raw aggression comes flooding in. He does a great job of staying alive, dropping front base. Both members of blue team front base, and now SherzEsports completely unaware and caught all alone there as he jumped towards the P attic, and Cristola's all alone up in that car attic.
Great bit of movement there from Spenny. Just using his game sense to great effect. He's had a camouflage timer all game as well, which is why he's moving back towards P2 here. Zer going down might complicate things for him, as the camouflage will be coming up fairly soon. Bit of a stray beat down there, maybe a paddle hit on the back of his controller, but you can see now the red players trying to flood towards this camouflage. They don't have a single timing on it.
Big trouble.
Spenny with the last camo of the game. This is surely it.
That's a GG, 25-20. And Spenny just had all the times in that camouflage, and Cristola and SherzEsports making all the mistakes at the worst possible times as well. Flooding car side just wasn't going to be the recipe for success. As you can see, Spenny's had a huge game there and a great job out of him. He's gone 15 kills and 10 deaths. Zer, 10 and 10 as well. Really
great game, but I want to highlight Zer's damage dealt. Actually 200 more than his teammate who had 5 more kills than him. So really good contribution really from both Zer and Spenny there, really working well together. You could tell in the way that they were moving, especially when you think back to just moments before when Cristola and SherzEsports had both towers. At that point, it's so important you don't try and take 1 versus 1 fights. You know they're split up across the map. You know you're going to have that advantage. push one side. It was a bit of a renegade call, you know, pushing towards the carbine tower, knowing camouflage is coming up P2 not long afterwards. But they made it work. They pushed all the way around then after that into blue, and from then on never really looked back. So good coordination, good team fire there as well. They were finishing each other's kills. We'll have to see if they can continue that form here on the rig. But worth noting, Cristola and SherzE2's form on Truth, certainly their Truth woes just continue here in the double series.
Yep, done a great job, did ZhuhSpeny. First backing down the guy on P side and then isolating Cristola, who was all alone on Car, not for the first time. And that really was the catalyst and the snowball effect that did lead to the victory for ZhuhSpeny. Can they now press on and make this 2 maps to 0? We'll soon find out as we're on board with Cristola. Overshield is up, of course. Sniper rifle outside. If both teams contest it, Spenny does fall, and Zuh now also falls. That's a great start. Great start. Overshield now falls over towards Cristola, and he's looking for some new spawners and the sniper rifle in hand as well.
That's huge for Cristola. Not only a massive confidence boost here on the rig, but also the fact that when you think back to Truth, which we just saw, they never really had any timing on the camouflage. Fails the spring jump. He won't mind those. He stays on with the overshield and the sniper, but this overshield timing here on the rig, especially when you get to the late game, it's going to be vital. Will he know that Spenny's hanging up there?
He knows something. He's suspicious. Spenny's just biding his time, waiting for his moment. Maybe a back whack. Spenny now falls, or takes down SherzE2 rather. Nice little body shot and a clean up by Cristola, and the big battle goes down. Now this could be pivotal.
Gotta hit this.
What way this game is going to go. As he looks like there is some help coming through, but for both players. But unfortunately, Chris does fall, and the help from SherzE2 doesn't come quick enough. And sniper rifle will now transition over to ZhuhSpeny if they're aware it's there, which you have to say they will be. I think Spenny's just got it in his hands now.
Yeah, Spenny's found it. We'll see what he can do with it. He had a tremendous game 1 in this series. If I'm Chris and SherzE2, I try and shut him down straight away, which they have. So now it's up to Zuh to try and pick up the pieces here. I know that Cristola and SherzE2, or SherzEsports, I should say, to use their full name.
Official title.
Their Sunday name. They have been struggling here on the rig throughout qualifiers. 6 wins, 10 losses here on the rig. So, actually, I've got that completely wrong. It's just 1 win and 2 losses here on the rig. So, they'll be happy to even up that record 2-2 if they can. But so far, ZhuhSpeny listening to each other very well. New sniper up in 5 seconds. So, we'll have to see who's able to grab that one.
We've used their Sunday name, but in no way, shape, or form are they at their Sunday best. As 5 kills to 4, still neck and neck. It could go either way as Cristola gets some shots from Spenny. SherzE2 is all alone here. Oh! SherzE2 almost gave Zuh the rizzle dizzle. Cristola picks up a double, it looks like, in the kill feed. And he will be now transitioning over to sniper rifle. Will need to watch out for spawners. He gets shot in the back. That's all the information he needs. And so now this sniper rifle should be coming over to him for free.
Yeah, smart move there from Chris. When you know both of the enemy team are down and on the death screen, why not just straight line that sniper? You know you're not going to be shot. You might if you hesitate. That's a nice shot there on Zuh. That's going to extend the lead now to 3. Need to be careful to control the inside of the map now to Chris and SherzE2. As the overshield is
transitioning over.
The overshield's coming up in around 20 or so seconds. It was Cristola and SherzE2 of SherzEsports who grabbed the last one, so they'll know the timing.
Yeah, ZhuhSpeny will have a rough idea when it pops, because they'd probably be in the death screens as it was picked up, and will be aware of all the experiences that they have. They will know that it is coming around about now. So as you can see, both teams sort of slowing down now. So it's whoever makes the first mistake. You don't want to be the first one to fall in this engagement, because you will then hand over the initiative to the other team. As it slows down for just a brief moment. Overshield has just popped. Cristola popping off some shots there, trying to find some information. Trying to get some bodies at least, get the player weak. As he gets a nade onto Spenny, and that means Overshield does transition over to SherzEsports.
Yeah, I was a little worried there for Chris. His game sense obviously was tingling that he felt someone trying to push the outside of the map. But for me, I'm just wondering about the inside of the map. You know, when the Overshield's coming up, if you just grab that, if you get yourself into a position to grab it, more than likely you're going to get away with at least half of it left. So Chris, luckily, able to push around to the Whitehall. Grabs the overshield after pushing back Zuh. So now it's about what they can do with it. The overshield has been burned, as has the sniper. So Chris here needs to try and stay alive as long as he can. His teammate has gone down. It's only A moment now until Chris goes down as well, just as the new sniper's about to pop in. I just lied. Completely lied to you there, Richie. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's well. Listen, it's what happens when you're so used to having the settings that you've cast it over for so many years, but we've tweaked it just a little bit, just to throw a spanner in the works, really throw you off your game. That was the main aim. We were just waiting to get Harry on here for a cast and really just throw him off. It was never really about optimizing game settings. It was just about getting one over on Harry.
Fairly certain Cristola and SherzEsports have actually gone into Forge to change the sniper timing. Of course, I'm joking. The sniper's coming up in around 12 seconds. So, lucky for Chris and Sherzy that they weren't...
he did not get the beat down after 3 shots, it looked like there, but it looks like... Oh, Chris has just gotten a double kill there, and that's going to be huge. Lead is now extended to 5. Rig does seem to be a little bit better for them. That's truth. They get away from them very quick as Cristola's now starting to heat up. Another lovely little shot onto Spenny. Got the finish. But Zuz right there on hand with a frag grenade of his own.
Oh, that would have been a huge kill to get there for Sherzy too, but equally just as big for Zur, who is able to salvage 3 bullets of the one-clip sniper, and now has a chance to try and find some spawners here. And I was going to say it might just roll away from them and really start to escalate out of their control had they not been able to get those last 2 kills. But with 3 bullets, oh no, he's been found out here. E1 gets the tag onto Cristola, but now with a 5-point advantage, no sniper to play with. Spenny all on his own for a second. This one looks well and truly in control of SherzEsports and Cristola, especially when you consider the last 2 overshields have gone their way as well.
Yeah, it's definitely their game to lose, you would feel, as Zuz popped down to no shields, and Spenny's very weak as well. Cristola falls, and he really probably didn't need to, as he had already got the advantage in that gunfight. There's nice 5 shots from SherzEsports onto Zuz, and that's exactly what you need when your teammate falls, just like that. So you can't press how many advantage they had in terms of numbers. As Spenny crouches engine 2, he was closing that distance there as he looked to get a little melee off, but he has actually just been meleeed for himself. And now SherzEsports has that information. He'll pass over to Cristola that he's been shot from zigzag. SherzEsports now engine 2.
Important moment of the game here, Richie. Overshield coming up. I like the way that SherzEsports here is actually putting pressure on Longhorn, especially considering Spenny's in a fight with Cristola. If I'm SherzEsports right here, I double back. I try and look for this overshield, which has just popped, but this is just going to allow just an invitation to maybe get eyes on that Cristola off screen has just grabbed a new overshield. So that's a 3rd overshield. 3 overshields in a row now for SherzEsports. A perfect bounce back after game 1. They surely should close this one out now.
Spenny doing a great job of staying alive there from SherzEsports, and actually manages to get the trade, which is beautiful play out of Spenny. Really making the hard work, and when you're that down so much in a fight and you still manage to get a trade, that's great work from him as Cristola chases this kill onto Zuh. Zuh gets out of there into Stewards, but Cristola just able to predict that.
Big fight.
Big fight. Spenny backs down wisely as well.
Yeah, I think that's the tale of the game so far. Spenny clearly not confident here on the rig, not willing to take that fight despite having the height advantage over Chris. That's honestly, when you see that fight happen in the pros, 9 times out of 10 you'll see the player with height advantage come away with the fight, but Spenny clearly not too happy. He's able to sneak around and grab sniper though. We'll see if he can get a double. SherzEsports versus Spenny for a moment on the map. Spenny though just wisely getting his shields.
He's all alone here. Zuh does come in with some help. Spenny gets that information and pops Chris down to no shields. Lovely little body shot. Tries to get the finish, but can't. SherzEsports now has him in his sight, but a lovely 5 out of Spenny. That's what you love to see. As now Zuh pushes through the basement door and will look to put some shots down to Cristola. Cristola all alone, but importantly there, Cristola has gotten a kill, and if you're Zuh, you'll be disappointed with that. You've had the number advantage and really didn't need to trade a life there.
Yeah, you read my mind. I think that's a really important kill for Zuh to get. If you don't come away with that trade, you just leave the door open for
Cristola in the kill feed. Harry has picked up a 5, 24-16. The writing's on the wall here. We can almost guarantee this one's going over to SherzEsports, and we will be seeing a game 4 of some description, that's for sure, as 25-16. A little bit not as close to the last series. There was ebbs and flows. It could have gone either way, but pivotally, as Harry touched upon, all the overshields going over towards SherzEsports, and in a game type like this, that is how you get the win and how you get the advantage.
I'm expecting a big game here from Cristola, and it was a +12 spread. Had every overshield. Made some big plays with sniper as well. You can see his damage dealt 500 more than his teammate. And 61% accuracy as well. So really just perfect all-round stats from Cristola, taking over the game. And on a map like the Rig, you can often see one player really just sort of escalate and feed off of his teammates' communication. And that time round, Cristola did just that. And unfortunately for ZhuhSpeny, they are now finding themselves, tied up 1-1 after a 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, they've been pegged back here to level terms, and we will be going to a game 4 that will be required. You have to say, if we're going to go to a game 5, it will favor ZhuhSpeny again, because game 5 is map truth. So the old wobbles will come back to haunt SherzEsports, you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at their record on truth, obviously not great so far throughout the double series. So that will give ZhuhSpeny confidence. They won't want to get to that point of the series. They want to try and take it down in 4, and obviously bouncing back from the Rig, moving now on to Regret, is going to be a pivotal point for them to do that. A similar sort of map to truth, obviously overshield instead of camouflage down here. If they can continue, obviously sightlines are a little bit different, but if they can continue the good decision making they were making on truth in game 1, I honestly feel like ZhuhSpeny are going to be in a great position to take game number 3 here on Regret.
Yeah, camouflages were always in favor of ZhuhSpeny on truth, but overshield just pops into Zhuh's chest, and you'll probably see SherzEsports go immediately for the plasma pistol and try and maintain the height and map control. As you can see, they're playing ring 3. Zhuh now overshield, pushing out towards Red Bridge, has Spenny in for help, just looking to feed and get some information here.
Yeah, I think that's a design play right there from SherzEsports. Cristola obviously trying to make the spring jump up to the bridge. Obviously, it's very risky.
Ooh.
Allowing Zhuh an overshield for free means SherzE2 just has no chance in that fight whatsoever. But Chris still has that plasma pistol to play with. Obviously, Zhuh now has no overshield left here, Richie, as well. So obviously, plasma pistol more important in this situation. Chris, though, electing not even to use it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. But Spenny's in the right place at the right time, and SherzE2 has been caught with his pants down. Had no idea Spenny was there, and because of that, he was laser focused. Maybe tunnel vision onto Zhuh's. Cristola would have given the information that he was absolute, but Spenny in the right place at the right time there. As Carbine in the hands of Zhuh, looking to use that extended sightlines. Lovely
We'll
grenade
see
from
now.
SherzE2.
It's always tricky on a map like Regret when you do go down 3-0. You see that big goose egg on your scoreline. When you feel like nothing is going your way, and you feel like players like Zhuh on our screens right now just don't seem to be missing, and Spenny's always in the right place at the right time. It's always difficult to try and slow the momentum of the other team, and Cristola, if he doesn't get this kill, which he does in the end, could have been, I mean, sticky. It could have been a sticky situation for him and not the right kind.
Beautiful bait and switch out of Zhuh, I have to say. Spenny really picking up the pieces as Zhuh gets people weak, and Zhuh backing down at the right times. We didn't see that last game with the basement play, but really starting to isolate players. Look at this again, as Cristola's now realizing he's in big trouble, and Spenny again gets the kill. So teamwork is definitely on the side of Zhuh and Spenny as they're playing really flawless Halo right now. Another kill goes down. It's 8-1. You're in big trouble if you're SherzEsports.
Yeah, just taking a quick glimpse at the stats. It's Spenny with 6 kills, but Zhuh actually has 6 assists to his name. So similar to what we saw on Truth there in game 1, Zhuh putting down all the fire that Spenny needs to be successful. Better though from SherzEsports. They find themselves back into the game with 3 kills to their name. Now, for me, it's all about the next overshield. Comes up in around 30 or so seconds. We'll see if SherzEsports elect to ignore it, seemingly, as they did for the first one, and go for the plasma pistol instead, or whether or not we're going to be seeing a bit more of a closely contested fight for the power-up.
Yeah, Cristola's in trouble again. As you can see, Car and P push to separate it again is SherzEsports, and every time we're playing a map like this, like Truth, like Regret, they seem to be separated and never really at the right time, right place at the right time to help each other out. Zhuh and Spenny are almost hand in hand, arm in arm, walking around the map and really making sure that they can get the advantage and press home. As you see, traded to go down the kill feed, and still a 4-kill advantage in the side of Zhuh and Spenny.
Big kill there, actually, from Zhuh. We'll see him nearly be taken down here by Cristola. But Chris will be happy at 5 Spenny right as he picks up the overshield. That's a big play, and that's the type of tide-turning play we're talking about. Only down by 2 now. Overshield a non-factor. Spen and Zhuh seem to be on almost stilted spawns for a moment there, and that's allowed SherzEsports back into this game, down only by 2. Sherzy here with, well, a drop on Zhuh off of our screens. We'll see if he can finish this kill. Windmills everywhere.
He was windmilling.
Just about gets the kill in the end, but still this 3-point advantage is still in the favor of ZhuhSpeny.
I might have to send SherzE2 a card in the post telling him that he's no longer a SherzE member, because such was the windmills that were going on there, putting us all to shame, really making a holy show of the family. As Cristola now jumps onto car 3. He will be killed by the Guardians if he doesn't drop down somewhat quickly. Still map control on the side of SherzEsports. As ZhuhSpeny now, they have the lead. They don't need to go anywhere. They have a 2-kill lead, and they need to bait SherzEsports down to them and really try and press so many kills. Maybe trades are perfect for you in this situation.
Yeah, well, if you remember, back in game 1 on Truth, we had a similar sort of situation, and
there's the first mistake, Harry.
Speny that made, or forced, I should say, the first mistake out of SherzEsports. Good nade there from Cristola. Will give him a chance in this 2 versus 1, but it's always a 2 versus 1, and it's always going to be odds stacked against him. And again, it's another coordinated push out there by ZhuhSpeny. They've really impressed me in their coordination so far. Certainly be winning in that column at the moment as Speny picks up Cristola. Sherzy2 here has some work to do.
Yep, as both members of blue team down towards car side, low cars. SherzE2 wisely decides he's going to back up and wait for help from Chris. And he gets a little shot in the back for his, I'm going to wait for you, Chris, but Jesus, don't put bullets in my back. It's hard enough as it is in a 1v2.
It is Easter
now
Sunday.
falls to a barrel.
Good fight, and a last shot double. SherzE2 as well. I think he's just earned his invitation back into the SherzE clan.
We will see the SherzE family. Our tree is written in pencil just for situations like this. We don't need to get Tipex out. We can just pencil it right back in.
Back on the Christmas card list for now. 3 points again separating these two squads. Still within touching distance, but again, I'm still seeing a lot of rogue pushes here from SherzE2. Where's his help? Where is Cristola? I'm just going to flick through. And actually, you can see on the outlines, Speny and Zhuh have made a complete rotation around together. The important thing is, they're doing it together. Cristola not in a position to help SherzE2 out once again. And once again, it's a 2 versus 1 for Cristola to fight against. It's going to be tricky for him to get out of, and he can't get out of it.
17 kills to 12 now, and really teamwork being the difference. As SherzE2 and Cristola never seem to be around each other, never seem to be able to help each other. They're almost relying on gun skill alone. Overshield is about to pop. Cristola just pops into his chest.
PP.
This could be big. PP in hand. What are we going to see? They're both windmilling. What's happening? SherzE2 gets the kill as he spawns up bottom base, and I think Cristola will thank his lucky stars that SherzE2 has come in with the help. PP now in the hand of Cristola, the weapon that did EMP him and take all his shields down. As he tries to do a little bit of... Is he trying to do a shy away here? Trying to utilize movement? You want to start getting yourself some kills before you try all this fancy schmancy.
Certainly not the type of thing you want to be trying to do when you are 4 points down. Again, one of those situations where after... Oh, Speny! Okay. All right.
I see him.
Baseball.
I see that as he threw...
We call it rounders.
A little fluffy grenade sticks onto Cristola. The timing of it is impeccable as kills fall in the kill feed. Speny will jump on with him. He's having a lovely little game on regret, and Zhuh's doing all you really need to do as a teammate, helping your teammate feed kills.
Again, we go to the post-game carnage report after this game, Richie. Just keep an eye on the damage dealt from Zhuh. Right now, sitting on 13 assists, assisting 13 of these 21 kills that they have to their name at the moment. If they close it out, certainly Zhuh is going to be getting a big pat on the back and a firm handshake from Speny.
Probably shouldn't be handshaking right now with the way their current climate. Maybe an elbow tap.
Yep, elbow bumps.
Elbow bumps all around. You try and maintain social distancing. As there you see Cristola falls again, 23 to 16, and just like the last map, it's almost in complete reverse. The writing again is on the wall. SherzE2 puts some shots down and is killed by the bolt shot. Killing spree comes in for Speny again as Zhuh falls, but now has bumped up his assists to 15.
Finish him. So
finish
close.
him rings out throughout the arena. No fatalities here at the moment. 24 to 18.
Chris has finally hit the jump he's been trying to make this entire game, but...
Oh, and he gets 5. He gets 5 after doing the jump, Harry.
Solid shots right there from Speny. Another big marquee game from him. And Zhuh and Speny will actually move themselves up onto match points after that tremendous game. It certainly seems to be favoring them on the arena maps at the moment. 18 and 9 from Speny. But again, look at those assists from Zhuh. Let's check out the damage dealt here.
Actually, even.
Speny had more, but when you consider the kill differential was plus 11 in Spenny's favor. He had 11 more kills than Zur. I mean, the fact that he only has 15 more damage, or excuse me, 25 more damage, that's some EU maths for you right there, is absolutely incredible. So well played from both Spenny and Zur. Obviously, Spenny with the listening, Zur with the communication, and Zur with the damage dealt as well.
Yeah, 7 kills, 15 assists. You've almost been involved in every single gunfight that's gone down on that map for your team. So with the exception of 2 gunfights, which maybe happened when he was dead. I mean, Spenny and Zur, well, Zur, more importantly, could do no more than help his teammate there.
Yeah, really, really well played. And I suppose the silver lining for SherzEsports right now, Sherzy2 and Cristola, is that the next map we have coming up in the series is not an arena-style map. It's not Truth. It's not Regret. You had success on Rig earlier on in the series. Guess what? You now get to move back to another map with a power-up and a sniper to play for. That's the silver lining right now. But after losing Regret so handedly like they did just then, again, it's the same errors that are appearing as they did on Truth in game number 1. It's always going to be hard to bounce back from that from a morale standpoint. You're always going to be thinking to yourself, okay, maybe these guys just have better teamwork than we do. Obviously, these guys are going to have the experience. Hopefully, they can mentally reset. But this really has set up for a tremendous series as we load into Plaza here in game 4. Hopefully, we see a game 5.
Yeah, if you're SherzEsports and you do get the next win on Plaza, again, that you're going to have that in the back of your mind that we haven't won a game on Truth. Regret hasn't gone great for us either in this series alone. So maybe the writing's on the wall for you, then you're going to lose Truth as well. So you have to maybe break out of that and really start to think that we can get the win here on game number 5.
So let's see then. Plaza Slayer is our game 4. SherzEsports find themselves 2-1 down. Zur and Spenny have played tremendously, by the way, this entire series. Their decision-making has been very, very much commendable. We'll see if they can close it out here on Plaza. Obviously, Overshield to play for. Cristola's trying to make a move for it.
Oh,
Spenny gets the burn. Zur gets the trade. So now a 1 versus 1 on the map momentarily.
Zur, he's been influential in this game, in this series so far. A trade goes down. It's not often you see that, but both men neither one of them wanted to say die, but in the end, both of them did. Spenny now crouches up towards towards. Oh no, Cristola has taken him down on the steps. So
unfortunate there for Spenny. He had the information, but Cristola just with a strange bit of timing there. Maybe heard Spenny behind him, turned around and was able to get the kill that puts them into the lead. But an animation actually there.
He's been assassinated.
And Sherzy2 had the sniper, so now the sniper's actually going to move over to Zur. So I think it's only fair that we jump over to his point of view at the moment as he's over in the yard with this sniper rifle.
I think if I'm SherzEsports, Zur is probably living in my head rent-free right now. After that, not only did you have the embarrassment of getting backpacked while you had the sniper rifle, but he's had the time to animate you as well. And that is not good for anybody.
Wants to bang in the chat saying Wonderboy looking like he should be doing videos with Churdley. I don't know who Churdley is, but thank you.
Is that a compliment? We're not sure who Churdley is. Let's assume it is and say thank you very much.
So 3-3.
He's on glass. We've seen many players here use a sniper rifle. SherzEsports takes down Spenny. That's one less shot for Zur to use now. He had that information that there was a player top middle. Why has he decided he's going to go dip, going to go blue and try to link up with Spenny again, who's spawned down towards garbage truck. See if someone is going to try and play yellow ledge. It is SherzEsports. Just gets that lens flare, just SherzEsports, but it's not enough as Spenny puts down a fresh 5. Zur and Spenny are both low here. New sniper rifle going to pop very soon and over shield off for another minute or so. Cristola's also down very low. Gets that information out that Zur is absolute on garbage truck. SherzEsports takes him down. Cristola's popped down to no shields from Spenny. And now SherzEsports picks up the cleanup as well. That's excellent play out of SherzEsports, and Zur and Spenny really missed plays. They were both down low at probably the worst possible time.
I'm happy for SherzEsports that he was able to clean up that kill on Zur in the end, because I was wondering whether or not he might need his Astros turning up. Because he was able to allow Zur to rotate away from yard in a 2 versus 1 with the sniper. And speaking of the sniper, SherzEsports has a sniper to his name now as well. So we'll hop over to his point of view as Cristola goes down. 2 versus 1 momentarily, but with this weapon, you can really start to pre-aim those common angles and really make those kills definite. He doesn't see Zur.
Oh, he's put the shield and he's got
him up. Okay, SherzEsports. He wants a game 5.
We see him. As the sniper rifle as well and truly being the equalizer here is that 1 versus 2. SherzEsports says you can animate me all day long, but I'm going to start peeling wigs now and really start to feel this out. And there's one more bullet left in the chamber.
Unfortunately for Sherzy2 and Cristola, though, Overshield coming up. Spenny was in a good position at top gold. Needs to hit this shot if he has any chance of winning.
Spenny
almost gives him the razzle dazzle, but that's going to be the Overshield turning over to Zur and Spenny. So 7-9, they're down by 2, have an Overshield in their favor, and the plasma pistol with Zur as well. So Spenny doesn't need to worry about that equalizing, or excuse me, exterminating his Overshield. To go a bit of Doctor Who on you there. And that's going to tie things up 9-9.
Overshield is pivotal there, as Sherzy done his very best, his utmost best to get the shields down off Spenny, which he did. He was dropping a few little crouch motions, a little bit of a strafe, trying to make it as hard as possible for Spenny to get any kind of kill. As Zuz popped down to no shields, wisely decides he's out of there. Only a sliver of health left. He now regens and is ready to fight again. This battle between Sherzy2 and Zuz seems to be happening all series long. Zuz just got the better of him so far. 10 kills to 10, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Still a lot of Halo to be played.
Elsewhere, got to give Spenny a bit of credit there. Looked like he was traded in the kill feed. It was actually a 2 versus 1 fight. He was able to get a kill off onto Cristola. So Spenny continuing his fine form. He's taken down now, though. Sniper popping up in around, well, I want to say 5 or so seconds as the plasma pistol comes in here as well. Cristola needs to watch his P's and Q's.
He can't do. He was all alone down bottom middle. Here comes Sherzy2. Zur deciding to use that plasma pistol against him. You're really looking for Spenny to come and help him. Here he is. Oh, but Sherzy2 has done terrifically there. Zur done his, I have to say, he's done his utmost best to get alive there. Stay away, rather, and stay alive. Sherzy2 did hunt him down.
Is Spenny going to know Chris is there? A bit of an unusual bit of movement there. Spawning down at the garbage truck. Not often you see players go straight for top middle, especially while Sniper's up. So we'll see. That should allow really Sherzy2 to flank in behind here in yard, which he does. Gets the Top Gun medal. So first to 10 kills here. Cristola having a bit of a quiet game. If Sherzy2 has 10 kills, that means Chris only has 4.
Yeah, and assists. It's 5 assists for Cristola right now. It's not as impressive as supposedly had in the last game. We will need more from him. Just seems as though Spenny has got caught a little bit isolated by himself. As you see again, he's fallen again. Zur will be probably screaming in his ear just to slow it down, calm down. You don't need to give out silly deaths.
Especially when you consider Zur has a 3-bullet sniper to play with as well. Spenny's been caught on the respawn. If Zur goes down here with sniper, which he does, they're now down by 4. No sniper to play with. They're coming off the respawn, almost on stilted spawns, which is why Spenny's slowing things down and just allowing his teammate to spawn. You now have Sherzy2 with the sniper. This is, I mean, if he could hit some shots, he's already hit at least a couple of nice shots already. This is kind of a nightmare situation for Zur and Spenny to be in, especially when you consider Overshield's coming up now as well.
They were on staggered spawns, but Zur has just picked up a fresh 5 and transitions that sniper rifle over to himself as well. Wastes the bullet. He says, I'm not going to use that, but I'm also not going to let anybody else use it. Overshield.
Big OS fight. Spenny and Cristola going up against each other. They
Zur
both
does
fall
have
down.
the PP. Spenny gets the kill.
Spenny actually with some nice movement as well to grab the Overshield. So this is actually a bit of a more healthy position. Zur gets the last shot kill on Sherzy2. Spenny with OS now as well. So all of a sudden the tables have been flipped here, Richie.
Yeah, immediately putting pressure onto Cristola, who, just like before, now they're on the staggered spawns and they're in big trouble. And Spenny gets a melee to himself. Around his body, grenades himself as well, as if it's not hard enough as it is. Just terrifically well. Almost nading himself again. He's just trying to kill himself, it looks like. There's plenty to live for on Plaza. Please do not try and take your own life here.
I think there's some insider betting going in here. We'll have the referees have a look at this. Spenny trying to throw as best as he can. Look at this aim. It's all over the shop, trying to clean some windows. It's not working well at all. Zur needs to hit this shot, which he does not. So that's a sniper out of the hands. 2-point advantage now.
Oh, it's a favourable spawn for Spenny as he spawns down towards the lift on sniper side. And Sherzy2 now on yellow ledge. We've seen many players play this before. He has a light rifle in hand as well, and we'll look to try and pop some shields. And Sherzy2 just looking to see where Chris was. Chris now transitions over towards blue. It looks like no, maybe not.
Unsurprising to see them slow this game down here, Richie. I wouldn't be surprised to see them slow this all the way down until the next sniper pops. That's probably the next thing to play for. You don't want to allow Morg and Spenny, or Zur and Spenny, I should say, just play for that. Spenny actually has a sniper in his hand, so I'm just going to pop over to his point of view and see how much ammo he has. Just the 2-bullet sniper he has. So I mean, pretty much they're just waiting for the next sniper to pop. Overshield isn't for another minute or so. Cristola, though, trying to make a play bottom middle is not going to work out for him. And if they can find Sherzy2, they've turned this 1-point disadvantage into a 1-point advantage. Did he tag him there? He actually hit the
shot. It looked like he did.
Absolutely wonderful.
He's popped Sherzy2 down to no shields. Only one bullet left to contend with. Of course, Cristola and Sherzy2 will not know exactly how much ammo he has left, you have to feel. So you start using that lens player, maybe start to scare players, back them down, and you give Zhuh the opportunity to push forward and maybe get a little sneaky kill. 20-20, it's neck and neck. Speny sees Cristola, but fortunately for Cristola, he also sees Speny in return. Cristola's made that transition move top middle.
Smart.
Speny sort of knows he's there. He knows he's around that area. As you can see, he's pre-aiming it. Overshield is going to pop very, very shortly as this game is slowed down to a crawl.
Yeah, this is where you're going to see every single movement from both sides be calculated in terms of getting eyes on the overshield, which is popping up in around 10 or so seconds. So this is the move from Speny. Doesn't realize there's a player top gold, so that's going to be an advantage to SherzEsports. Zhuh does not hit his plasma pistol shot, which is absolutely critical to trying to slow Cristola down. Cristola playing so well, and look at this flank.
Has a pinch.
The pinch flank from SherzE2 should surely close out this game now for SherzEsports.
Speny still waiting on that overshield.
Yeah, this OS is just nowhere to be seen. SherzE2 picking off Zhuh on spawn. Cristola with the overshield. I think we're going to a game 5, baby.
We're going to game 5. Our first game 5, I want to say, of our featured games, that much is for sure. Last week we did have a game 5 in Division 2, but we didn't have it on stream. Look at that. Cristola just knows he has the advantage. He has that overshield, looking to use that aggression immediately. And this will be it. That's 25 to 20. The score is 25-20, but that's not. Sometimes the score doesn't tell the full story. As that really was just down to one play for that game.
Absolutely, it came down to that last overshield fight, and we'll take a look at some of the stats here. Credit to SherzE2, who's been a little quiet so far this series. 17-9 is a real statement performance, really carrying the weight of Cristola. Really, the damage dealt nowhere near where it needs to be for Chris. So. A good performance from SherzE2, but it does come down to that final OS play. It comes down to, the decision making that we've been really promoting for Zhuh and Speny so far. We've been praising them. We've been, saying how much better it's been from Cristola and SherzE2. Right there, the flank from SherzE2 while Cristola is buying time is absolutely perfect. It's unorthodox. It's Zhuh and Speny really tunnel visioning on the overshield. They know their mind is only on the overshield, whereas SherzE2 knows that they're both occupying Cristola, which allows him to come in, kill Zhuh, get him on the respawn as well. That enables Cristola to grab the overshield. It was perfectly played. And we're going to game 5.
Yeah, Cristola doing a great job of putting some shots down, staying alive behind that box top middle, really just occupying both players, as Harry says. And really, Zhuh and Speny were caught unaware then when SherzE2, probably, like Harry says, a little unorthodox, comes in, gets the clean up onto Zhuh and Speny after Cristola had made them weak. And Zhuh tried to make a play with that plasma pistol, trying to predict that Cristola was going to get that overshield, but instead, it did go in favor of Cristola as 25-20 running out the score, and we're on to truth. And if you're on the side of Zhuh and Speny, you have to really feel, let's just let that game go, let it wipe, and we'll reset here for truth. We've already won that map in the series, and we won it quite convincingly as well. So all we have to do is do it again, and we're able to chance of winning.
This is where nerves comes into play, and when you think about the experience across these two sides, you have Cristola and Zhuh, who both, I believe, have played in Pro League in the past, and then SherzE2 and Speny, which haven't sort of had that higher level experience. So it's going to come down to which team can really settle down and really just, make this game 5 their own. It's what you have to do. You have to relax into it. You can't be going intense. You can't be hesitating. And right now, it looks like Speny's able to grab the first camouflage of the game, which could be vital going forward.
Yep, 2 kills to 1. Oh, camouflage does transition over to the side of Zhuh and Speny, and if you're a fan of them, you want more of this because they can keep pushing on, keep getting every engagement, keep getting 1 kill over SherzEsports. Then it's only a matter of time before they get the victory. And here we go again. Both members of SherzEsports on the card. Cristola over towards red side is now SherzE2 in the bubble. Camo. Oh, he's being teammated. He's been taken down to 1 shot. Just stay alive, Speny. Don't move. They don't know you're there.
That's an audio cue, though. They're going to know Speny's here, and guess what? He's taken a 2 versus 1. Luckily, it's traded out by Zhuh. SherzE2 needs to just try and get away from that horrendous, cursed Carbine side of the map and just really try and just rotate around and make sure that Chris is sticking with him. This is something they struggled with in game 1 on this exact same map. We'll see if they can just sort of use the buddy system to a bit more effect here on Truth.
Yeah, both players decided to back down and just will re-engage again at another time. Zuh and SherzEsports both respecting each other and saying, "Listen, I'm not afraid of you, but we'll try and play this at another time. We'll fight again." As Kristola again on Carbine put some shots down into Zuh, but this time Spenny's there to help. And again, is this the same mistakes coming?
It's happening again. It's shaking my head. SMH my head. SherzEsports just nowhere to be seen. Luckily, Kristola spawns next to him. They're able to avenge the death of Kristola by killing Zuh there. But again, you just have to think about if SherzEsports playing alongside Kristola there at a Carbine Tower, it could happen again here at Blue Base as well. It's not a 2v1, it's a 2v2, and you give yourself more of a chance of coming out of a fight in an advantageous scoring position. If anyone's new to the Europa Double Series, Camouflage should be coming up now in the HCS settings, but in the Double Series, it's a 3-minute timer, not a 2-minute timer, so you have another minute to wait until that power-up comes up.
I understand the train of thought of SherzEsports and Kristola, because obviously in 4s, you want to try and get that pick. You have a guy set up Carbine, he's able to see P Street and anybody pushing up P Street. But the problem is if the team decide to push up Car side, then the guy over on P, he's blocked, his vision is blocked from those shields top middle, and he doesn't quite have the angles to help you out the same way you can help him out. So you really need to just give up that Carbine side. It's not required. There's nothing over there that you need. So really, maybe Carbine player needs to start playing top middle, and maybe that's the play.
Speaking of Carbine, Sir and Spenny need to start making moves pretty soon. Camouflage coming up fairly soon. SherzEsports here playing in top of red. It's just going to be the ears. He can hear the audio cue here. This could be a big play from SherzEsports. Just needs to wait for the second player. He's just taking his eyes off at the wrong time. No, Zuh likes to try and go top middle. Attack mag in hand. We'll see if this kill can be cleaned up by SherzEsports, and it's all gone wrong from SherzEsports. They had Pink Tower. They had the enemy team trapped over at Carbine. It was all going well for them. Instead, Zuh and Spenny with a tremendous push. Spenny now with camo and a 3-point lead to go with it.
Did SherzEsports just not hear Spenny sprinting past them like a stampede of elephants? I don't know. Like Harry said before, maybe he needs to crank up those Astros because he's really not getting the audio cues that he requires.
I think he knows Zuh likes to go top middle when they're pushing Pink Tower, which is kind of what he was expecting. But at the same time, why not just keep staring at red until you see both players so you can call that information out to Kristola, maybe flank them if they haven't seen you. It's a bit of a strange play, and for me, it's one that's cost them the camouflage, and now they're trapped in red. This could go very, very poorly and could go south quickly.
As the camouflage has now become a non-factor as he runs out, and he decided to sit top middle, and it's not that it's a bad play, but when you have camouflage, you really want to utilize it and make sure that you can get a kill out of it. SherzEsports picks up a massive 5 onto Spenny, and Zuh's now all alone, isolated down bottom Carbine. I don't believe Kristola knows he's there.
I think he might have an idea, but I'm not sure he knows exactly where he is, which is why Chris is just watching his back here, but I think he just caught his toes there. So Zuh now needs to be careful. These nades, though, certainly giving away Kristola's position, and if they don't hit Zuh like they didn't, it's just basically setting off massive fireworks saying, hey, by the way, I'm over here at Carbine Tower.
Again, though, Harry, Kristola's on Carbine, SherzEsports is on P Street. Every single time they break this setup, it happens again. Sort it out, fellas.
So then, Spenny and Zuh trapped in blue. Kristola surely will trade that one off. SherzEsports here, for me, just needs to get his shields back, which he has so far. And this is quite a vital 1 versus 1. That would put them within 1 on the score. Camouflage not for another minute.
Both players popping each other's shields. Looks like Zuh's going to try and re-engage at the window side. Spenny comes over to give some help, but Kristola's all alone again in the 1v2, and SherzEsports was just not able to help him again as he tried to get a little bit more advantageous position top middle. He has caught Zuh unawares with his pants down there now, as it will be a 1v1 on P side between Spenny and SherzEsports.
Tell you what, SherzEsports, that's better from them. I was about to say they need to start turning their fortunes around in terms of the teamwork and buddy system. We spoke about it before the game. It's happening in game. To be honest with you right now, they are lucky to be within 1. They're getting the trades off. But that, for me, is a fault of Spenny and Zuh not staying in and making sure they get their shields back after picking off the player playing by themselves. There's a pick, and we might just see ZhuhSpeny try and push Cristola here so that they spawn over at Carbine side. Luckily, though, they do get another blue spawn, and Zhuh is just not getting his shields back. What is happening in this game?
Speny's all alone front base, but importantly, SherzEsports don't know he's there. He doesn't shoot here, but Cristola has fallen down. He's in no man's land, and because of that, Speny is behind him, gets the back whack. Probably the worst time you want to drop bottom middle. And Speny was just hiding out there, waiting for his time, buying his time.
Camo's up.
Camo does pop. Cristola frantically trying to get across bottom middle.
They've forgotten about it. I feel like ZhuhSpeny have just forgotten about this. Cristola could sneak in and steal it if he wants. In fact, Zhuh has grabbed it already, so good communication
Cristola,
there. Completely missed that one.
Looks like they're watching each other here. Zhuh and Speny. Zhuh playing this perfectly here. He's behind both players. SherzE2 popped down to no shields. There is the kill. 12 kills to 9. You look for Speny now to pinch and put some pressure onto Cristola. As puts one bullet into Chris, which makes him weak in the gunfight. Cristola drops down bottom, still completely unaware as to where Zhuh is. And as a result of that, it's an easy kill, and they extend their advantage. It's going to be this is big trouble if you're SherzEsports.
Snowballing. It's snowballing out of control. Now. Really is. This is a landslide. They need to slow this down and really just reel in their deaths. Cristola pushing P3 is perhaps overconfident. Has the shots to back it up though. 4-point advantage.
Here. He needs to stay alive. He's out. There we go. That's better. Now they've just cut that lead down to 3. They need to try and really get the kills here and really try and find these players off the spawn, because what Zhuh and Speny are doing a great job. Every time they spawn up, they slow down for a second. They really wait to see what they want to do. They get information and then they make a calculated decision as to where they're going to push. But again, Harry, we have a Carbine P setup for SherzEsports. It hasn't worked at all so far. And I can't see it working again here.
Those 2 kills that Cristola just got, absolutely vital. Before that, he was 2 and 9. Now up to a slightly more respectable 4 kills, 9 deaths. He needs to turn that entire stat line around, though, if they are to get themselves back into this game. Understandably, the map has slowed down. Nothing to play for just yet. Camouflage again in around a minute's time.
Cristola with some nice shots. Try to get over towards P side and maybe try and push the base at some point here.
I'm not sure if he knows Zhuh's actually pushed out to the bubble. This could be a huge play. Speny's going to call him out.
Speny has got 2 shots down on them. We might see Zhuh push forward now. We haven't actually, but again, he is completely unaware that Zhuh's behind him.
If I'm Zhuh, I'm pushing this advantage straight away.
Here
Chris doesn't seem to know. Yep, there it is. Cristola gets shot in the side. Can't quite finish the kill, but off your screen, Zhuh's put some tremendous shots on SherzE2, taking him down to no shields as well. So really poor positioning once again from SherzEsports. They just cannot seem to group up here on this map. Either that or they just don't believe in it. As a result, they are falling down 5 points, 3 minutes to go. Camouflage coming up. They're on stilted spawns. It's looking hard for them to come back in this game.
Yep, they are staggered all over. Staggered spawns, staggered movement, staggered gameplay at the moment as they make the same mistakes time and time again. Really, one sits, just deciding to sit top middle, but not really making any kind of movement, not trying to press home any kind of advantage. And every single time they're caught unawares. As Speny's all alone, you have to go, and you have to go now.
Big kill, but they've forgotten about the camouflage. After they killed Speny, I want to see Cristola here actually turn around and grab camo, which he does. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Somehow they've been able to win the team fight at Pink Tower. Now within 2, Cristola is turning around his fortunes, now back up to 5 and 10. Still -5, but has camouflage. Time is against them, but we'll see more action. Zhuh will be taken down. Now down to just within 1. How has this happened?
1 minute, 50 or so seconds left. Speny's completely isolated and all alone. We might try and see him run away here, which he hasn't. He's been caught unawares. As he jumps out front base, and we'll just look to get out of there as Speny now wraps around Car's side, and we'll look to get some shots. Now, Speny and Morg, as rather, are back in touching distance of each other. They're back to a power position, back into base, and really, they're saying, okay, you come to us, you make us make the mistakes.
Really like that play, because not only that, it also it just allows Cristola's camouflage to drain and become a non-factor. Now you don't have to worry about an invisible player. Cristola is just baiting the push out, but has been pressured again. SherzE2 this time in a position to support, but he himself is no shield. So with 1 minute remaining, SherzEsports need to close down this deficit. Only 1 point behind.
Under the base. It's going to go down to the wire. Again, trading shots. And Spenny are in. They basically have all the advantage here. They don't need the push out, but Spenny will need for help from Zuh, which is coming through.
Oh no.
Spenny gets the kill on the Cristola. Pivotal was that, and there we go, 18-15, and the writing's on the wall here. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to have to. I think this one game is going to go over to Zuh and Spenny.
Cristola needs to finish this kill off on Zuh if there's any chance. Zuh goes for the grenade. Chris jumps over it, so now they're down to within 2. Spenny.
30 seconds left. They need to get this kill. Need to get it quick. It's
Spenny, you've got to win this. He doesn't
20
win it.
seconds. You need to find Zuh. You need to find him right now. Just under 20 seconds. As he finds Zuh, but Spenny's there.
Big fight.
One kill, one shot just needs to come in from Cristola. It doesn't. As he's now fighting Spenny. Needs a big double. He doesn't get it. 20 kills to 17, and we're going to run out of time, and it's just not enough.
Zuh and Spenny take a marathon series. They won game 1 on Truth. They win game 5 on Truth as well. I thought for a moment Scherzi and Cristola might just be able to pull it back, but again, it's just the curse of being unable to just have that presence of mind and group up. We'll take a look at the stats. Both Zuh and Spenny having nice games. Cristola slightly quiet for my liking in game 5. Damage dealt from Zuh again, as it has been all series long, by far and away out in front. And for me, is the series MVP, as Zuh and Spenny will take the win here in Division 2.
Yep, Zuh, a monstrous series out of him. That's what we like to see. 2,700 damage, and when you're putting down those sort of stats, you make it very difficult for any team to beat you. So Cristola and Scherzi will fall. That is their first loss of the league so far. They now go to 1-1, and we'd like to see how that plays out towards the end of the week, and we really start to tally up the scores and see where the dust settles. As we have another quick look at the series.
Yeah,
Spenny, map 1.
You can just take a look at this series and see exactly where it's gone wrong here for SherzEsports. I mean, the maps that they lost, Regret and 2 Truths, both arena-style maps, both maps which require you to group up. You can't take alternate angles on these maps. You really have to be playing the buddy system and be shooting the same thing. It's just too often they found themselves both on Regret and on Truth on opposite sides of the map trying to provide assistance from long range. It's just a low percentage play, and unfortunately for them, they will not win those maps, and they took those were the majority of the maps in the series, and as a result, they lose 3-2.
Yeah, if we had got maybe a game 5 on the rig or a game 5 on the plaza, you might be looking at a different story. But when you're playing those symmetrical maps where, we've all played 4v4s and the sight lines can be a big factor. But when you're playing 2v2, like Harry said, it is just a buddy system. It's about shooting the same thing, staying alive, baiting and switching. The sight lines situation doesn't really work out in your favor at all, especially with that carbine piece up time and time again. They were taken down as 2 members of the opposite team pushed car side, took down Cristola, and then ultimately Scherzi 2 was left in a 2v1.
Yeah, something for them to work on, I think, in future Division 2 games to come, because obviously Truth and Regret, 2 of the prominent maps here in the Europa Double Series, so they're going to have to group up a little bit. Gotta say, though, so impressed with Zuh and Spenny. Their chemistry and their coordination was on point. On those arena-style maps, yes, I suppose you could say they need to work on maps like the Rig and Plaza, where there's a sniper in play. There were a couple of misplays in there. But ultimately, their coordination and their chemistry, able to have the presence of mind to group up while in a frantic 2 versus 2 situation like we have here in the Europa Double Series. Very impressive, very mature gameplay. Very impressed with what I saw from them.
Yeah, it's great stuff to see Zuh and Spenny for that, bouncing back from the sandbag of the week last week. He's really putting a great display this week, and that's what we love to see. More of that from you, fella. That was great. We're going to take a short break as we jump into our next series. We will have LAGR playing. They got off to a loss week number 1, so let's see how they can get on. We'll catch you in a few minutes.